Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a whole new episode of your program Arab Affairs, in which we're always keen to bring you the latest developments that is happening in Egypt and the Arab world. Starting off with President Sisi met Saturday Governor of the Central Bank of Egypt, CBE, Hassan Abdullah, to review banking sector performance and monetary policy developments in 2025. The meeting underscored the sector's resilience and the CBE's rules in safeguarding macroeconomic stability. Net international services rose to record $52.6 billion in January 2026, covering 6.9 months of imports, while net foreign assets reached their highest level since 2020, supported by record remittances, stronger tourism revenues, and increased foreign investment. The discussions also noted rating upgraded by Standards and Poor's and stable outlooks affirmation by Fitch Ratings, alongside progress in financial inclusion and digital transformation. President Sisi stressed the need to curb inflation, ensure price stability, strengthen financial resilience, and empower the private sector to drive sustainable growth and attract further investment. And moving to Gaza, where Israeli occupation forces continue violating ceasefire deal, 3 Palestinians were injured by Israeli shooting that targeted 2 civilians in Gaza City. The United Nations also warned that Palestinian displaced families are living in overcrowded camps in Gaza Strip and are still facing dangers of fire and health threats. Details in the following report.
3 Palestinians were injured by Israeli shooting that targeted 2 civilians in Gaza City. Occupation jets launched 2 raids eastern in Khan Younis, coinciding with shooting from occupation military vehicles eastern Gaza City. The occupation forces also launched an airstrike on Tufah neighborhood northeast of the city. The occupation boats also opened fire heavily in Khan Younis Sea. The United Nations warned that Palestinian displaced families are living in overcrowded camps in Gaza Strip and are still facing dangers of fires and health threats. UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, said that many families are forced to cook, sleep and store their belongings inside small areas where fire is used. It added that 12 fire accidents inside the camps in recent days. Workers in humanitarian field managed to provide shelters to 85 families in Deir al-Balah and Khan Younis after their shelters were damaged in a fire in Gaza City. In the same context, Palestinian NGO Network said that occupation military continue its control over 60% of Gaza Strip. It added that the occupation is expanding the scope of Yellow Line towards residential areas. It added none of mobile houses have entered into Gaza Strip until now.
Going back to Palestine, where Hamas spokesman Hazem Qasim said that the Palestinian movement was open to international peacekeeping forces in Gaza, but rejected any interference in the territory. International affairs at the meeting of U.S. President Donald Trump's Board of Peace in Washington. Hamas announced that a handful of countries would commit troops to nascent International Stabilization Forces, ISF, for Gaza. Morocco announced it was ready to send police as well as soldiers to the ISF, while the force's American commander, Major General Jasper Jeffers, said that the Albania, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, and Kosovo were also committing troops. Hamas said that they want peacekeeping forces that monitor the ceasefire, ensure its implementation, and act as a buffer between the occupation army and the Palestinian people in the Gaza Strip, without interfering in Gaza's international affairs. And moving to Lebanon, where the Lebanon said Israel strikes on the country's east and south killed 12 people, with Israel's occupation army claiming it targeted Hezbollah and Hamas. The raids came hours after an Israeli strikes on the country's largest Palestinian refugee camp killed 2 people, with Israel's army claiming it had targeted Hamas. More details in the following report.
Israeli strikes on the country's east and south killed 12 Lebanese civilians on Friday, with Israel's occupation army claiming it targeted Hezbollah. Israel has kept up regular strikes on Lebanon despite a November 2024 ceasefire that sought to halt more than a year of hostilities with Hezbollah. Lebanon's health ministry said Israeli occupation army strikes on several locations in the Bekaa Valley killed 10 Lebanese civilians and wounded 24, including 3 children. The state-run national news agency had earlier reported 6 dead and 25 wounded after heavy Israeli strikes hit in the region. Israel's occupation army announced that it hit Hezbollah sites. The NNA said an Israeli drone targeted the neighborhood of the Ain al-Helwa camp located in the southern city of Sidon. Hamas condemned the attack, which it said led to civilian casualties. Last year, Lebanon's government committed to disarming Hezbollah, and the army said last month that it had completed the first phase of the plan, covering the area near the Israeli border.